Time now for your forecast first. WRBL News 3 First Alert Weather.
All right, here is a nice tranquil look with some clouds that are starting to blanket across areas of east central Alabama ahead of a very strong storm system. We got some morning showers coming in pretty heavy, and you can see the area shaded in yellow from Houston all the way back up in the Mississippi Delta. Severe weather could strike, and then winter weather on the heels of that. So we could be talking about a winter weather advisory in portions of Louisiana and southern Mississippi. Then we're going to track everything around our region to tell you what you can expect. The evening planner right now looks to be cloudy, and we'll talk about some heavy showers in the morning. You're watching WRBL News 3 on your side.
Straight ahead, the Biden administration providing millions of free at-home COVID tests. We'll tell you how you can sign up for the new program. Next, East Alabama healthcare officials say a dramatic surge in COVID hospitalizations have left medical professionals struggling to keep up. Plus, an effort by Senate Democrats to pass voting rights legislation seems destined to fail, but it's coming to the floor for a vote anyway. News 3 First Edition starts right now.
On your side, this is News 3 First Edition.
Good evening, and thank you for trusting News 3. I'm Phil Scoggins. My co-anchor Teresa Whitaker is off tonight. Columbus police are asking for help locating a missing 14-year-old girl. Police say Dejanice Goldsboro ran away from home, and an adult could potentially be helping her hide. Goldsboro is possibly in the area of Wilson Apartments on 8th Avenue. She stands 5'7", weighs about 170 pounds. She has black hair with braids and light brown highlights. If you have any information on her whereabouts or any information regarding the identity of the woman on the right side of this photo, you're asked to contact Columbus Police. The Biden administration is taking new steps to help get Americans to get their hands on those high-demand COVID-19 tests. After a soft launch yesterday, the White House has now officially rolled out covidtests.gov. Through the site, Americans can order 4 free at-home COVID tests per household. The Biden administration also making plans to ship 400 million N95 masks to pharmacies and community health centers. They're coming out of the strategic national stockpile and expected to be available next month. In East Alabama, surging cases and rising hospitalizations have overwhelmed the East Alabama health system. The system reached a pandemic high yesterday of 100 hospitalized patients. The surge comes as more than 100 hospitalized workers are also out sick with COVID, and infusions to treat the Omicron variant are in short supply. News 3's Elizabeth White has the latest.
Weary East Alabama Health Hospital staff once again handling another surge. Omicron spreading rapidly with low vaccination and booster rates, coupled with more breakthrough cases. Of the 100 people hospitalized, 80 are age 50 or older. 60 of the 100 are unvaccinated.
Most of the ones that are in ICU are unvaccinated. And most of the ones who are on ventilators are unvaccinated.
Unlike the Delta peak, the hospital cannot rely yet on a readily available supply of antibody infusions to help keep people out of the hospital.
Omicron is now basically 99.5% of all cases in the U.S. The drugs that we were previously using for the Delta variant, they're not effective against the Omicron variant.
Since the spike, EAMC has received only 34 infusions for Omicron. They will get an additional 6 infusions Thursday.
There's just unfortunately not enough to go around statewide or nationally right now.
The past 2 years, East Alabama Health has cared for 2,500 COVID patients, with 349 unable to overcome the virus.
It's very stressful here at the hospital right now, but everybody's, pulling extra weight. Everybody's just going above and beyond.
Hospital officials urging the public to get vaccinated, boosted, social distance, mask up, and be safe. Reporting in Opelika, Elizabeth White, WRBL News 3 on your side.
The pandemic is also affecting future medical professionals as medical students struggle to get field experience in short-staffed hospitals. Dr. Sarah Jones, the chair of the nursing department and an assistant professor at LaGrange College, says since the beginning of the pandemic, the department has had to make a number of transitions. Some of those transitions included having students learn virtually for a year before moving to a hybrid model for the spring 2021 semester. Students also completed their clinicals virtually for several semesters before resuming their in-person clinicals at Wellstar West Georgia Medical Center.
For our students, we're so concerned about making sure they're getting what they need, especially being fully online. We were concerned, you don't know, okay, if a student doesn't have great connectivity with the internet, well then they're at a disadvantage from the other students. So it was just frustrating to see at that time.
Dr. Jones says the department is prepared to return to virtual instruction should they need to, but they hope to continue with in-person learning. To Capitol Hill now, where a major voting rights bill, which is a priority piece of legislation for President Biden, is going to come up on the Senate floor this evening, where it will surely meet its doom. Natalie Brandt has more.
Win, lose, or draw, we are going to vote.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says he wants to put senators on the record on voting rights and on the Senate rules change needed to get the legislation passed.
Isn't protecting voting rights and preventing their diminution more important than a rule in the Senate?
Republicans say the filibuster rule is a Senate tradition that should not be destroyed.
These radicals on the other side, in order to get their own way, are prepared to break the United States Senate.
The Senate Majority Leader has said he will propose a talking filibuster, where lawmakers would have to debate continuously on the floor in order to oppose legislation. But not all Democrats are on board with any change that would lower the 60-vote threshold.
We should all support the right to vote, everyone, but not breaking the rules to make new rules.
This Senate showdown comes on the eve of President Biden's first year in office, and the filibuster rules have stymied the president's legislative agenda. President Biden, who previously opposed changes to the filibuster, now says it's necessary to end the partisan gridlock and protect voting rights.
For him, this is a question of principle, not a question of politics. This is foundational.
The president has taken some action at the executive level, including the Department of Justice announcing it would expand its voting rights unit. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The Senate showdown over voting rights has thrust Georgia's voting laws back into the spotlight. Georgia's 2020 presidential election results were the subject of conspiracy theories and attempts to overturn the results. Today, Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger held a news conference in Atlanta to announce a new statewide voter registration system. Raffensperger says the new system, called the Georgia Registered Voter Information System, will be used during the 2022 election cycle and will be, quote, more advanced, more secure, and more user-friendly.
Our team realized that we needed a faster, better, friendlier, and more secure system. And that's why we chose this more secure technology platform. Security is the key to truly assuring that all voters and all candidates know and understand that the winner is the winner and the loser simply came up short.
Raffensperger says the state currently has no plans to replace Dominion voting technology, which was the subject of unproven election fraud allegations during the 2020 election cycle. You're watching News 3 First Edition. More news straight ahead. First, though, back over to Bob, and it has been quite a nice January afternoon.
Oh, it certainly has. Let's go to this evening planner and see what Phil's talking about. Upper 50s still. If you haven't been outside, it's too late. If you haven't had a chance to soak up all this sun that we have, it's going to be some big changes coming. And we'll be seeing some rain showers. Before you know it, it's going to be a very wet commute coming up in the morning, but not quite as cold as we've seen. That's all straight ahead in your First Alert forecast.
on your side. Chief Meteorologist Bob Jeswald has your first alert forecast.
Oh, what a beautiful afternoon. Let me tell you something. The Phoenix City Amphitheater camera just speaks volumes, and it just shouts out how nice this afternoon is. But you see a lot of those contrails from airplanes and much more. It's a lot of warm, moist air lifting in, and it's a good thing for us right now. Behind all this, a lot of cold air still hanging in there, cold Canadian air, a little bit of that is Arctic air, and severe thunderstorms pounding parts of northeast portions of Texas, going into Louisiana right now. Areas shaded in yellow, that is a severe thunderstorm watch. Let's talk about it right here. And you can see the severe thunderstorm warning just off to the west of Louisiana. So this is the area ahead of it. This is what we call a squall line. It's ahead of the actual physical front. That's going to weaken, but let me tell you, this is going to bring in some heavy rain in the morning for a commute. And then get this, behind all this, we already give a heads up for parts of Louisiana. These areas here could see some areas of black ice coming up Friday afternoon. Okay, not ahead of it, but this is behind it. So they're already given a heads up for winter weather advisories there. I mean, we're seeing some of those in the Carolinas right now, where that Arctic air could still kind of nose in here. Now, the consensus is this. There will be periods of maybe a little snow, a little freezing rain, and what melts could be the issue. So that Gulf moisture lives in here. Yes, there'll be some thunderstorms around the Gulf Coast tomorrow. But as it starts to work in, I'm talking about Friday now, Friday morning and early Saturday, we have to watch, especially travel in northeast Georgia, east central Georgia. Maybe even far north as Atlanta, there could be some snow too. So we have to watch that, whatever melts and if those temperatures hit freezing. It seems a little convoluted, but let's break it down again. Let's first talk about right now conditions. Looking pretty good out here. Look at those 50s, looking good in the overnight. Here's your Wednesday. Here's our Thursday now morning. We're looking at that line coming in here in east central Alabama, a wet commute. But if you didn't get outside today, take a look at this on the Dragonfly Trail from the YMCA D.A. Turner, running this way and back. And my chief photographer who runs at Ranger 3, we're able to catch a sunny day on the Dragonfly Trail. And you can see, of course, the whitewater experience here, too, the longest whitewater experience, urban rafting experience. And some people right here in the world looking pretty good. Look at that. Just beautiful. Very fast, but beautiful. But it's going to be a lot different when you see this end of the week. There's that sun. Goodbye, sun. And we've got a lot of clouds here. So once we get into the Thursday forecast, that's when things are going to change a little bit. So let's just jump ahead. Those temperatures start to cool on Friday overnight. So it'll look something like this. I'm going to show you this rendition. Here comes the what rain, and the storm should lessen a little bit when it comes in our area. Then we start watching some of that cool air mixing in with this. So one scenario is this. There's that icing coming in here. So the winter weather setup, pink is equal freezing rain, sleet, maybe a little bit of snow too in blue. We don't see the blue just yet, but we're looking at rain mainly here Friday morning. Okay, that's good. But at times it could be embedded, especially in central Georgia. Let's get rid of that signature up there. We can see anywhere from east Georgia, northeast Georgia, into the Carolinas, a lot of freezing rain. So I think this is more of a reality if you're traveling here. Not good. Locally, though, it still begs the question. We'll stop it here Friday night. Some of this residual moisture could turn back into freezing rain east of Columbus, maybe a little snow. That could be a problem when temperatures fall around freezing. Could there be some areas that are sporadic black ice? So that's what we got to watch. Saturday, we'll keep an eye on it, but things are improving for the weekend. Hallelujah. So that freezing rain setup, whenever we look at it, you got all kinds of precipitation types. We talk about that, but when you get warm air overriding that cold air, that's a problem, and that's what we're looking at, some of that freezing rain, which causes issues, of course, on the roads, as you know. So the evening planner then, we jump ahead here through the overnight and tomorrow morning. A lot of rain. It's going to be a wet commute, so allow enough time there. No problems with winter weather at this juncture. But as we get into that wintry mix Friday, that's the whole question. Where are we? But for sure, northeast Georgia, Phil, it's looking that way. Will there be any leftover slippery roads? Look at those sub-30 temperatures here in some cases for the weekend. We should clear out nicely as we get into late Saturday, Sunday. There you go. All right. Thanks so much, Bob. Stay with us right here on First Edition. Just ahead, newly unveiled technology just might hinder your travel plan. Details coming up in 3 minutes.
on your side. You're watching WRBL News 3 First Edition.
Some flights to and from the U.S. were canceled today following the rollout of a high-speed wireless service that airline officials worry could interfere with aircraft technology. Chris Van Cleve has more details on what's sparking those concerns.
As AT&T and Verizon are launching their new ultra-fast 5G wireless service nationwide, airlines are bracing for travel headaches.
We're going to see some disruptions. There's no question about it.
Captain Joseph DePete is the president of the Airline Pilots Association.
We want to be leaders in the world in terms of 5G, but we don't want to do it at the expense of aviation safety.
While the FCC says 5G is safe, the FAA is concerned about interference with systems that help pilots land in low visibility and bad weather, prompting a host of flight restrictions.
If there's cloud cover, if there's rain, you can't use that equipment. You can't land airports at Chicago O'Hare, at Atlanta, at Detroit. This cannot be the outcome.
Airlines warned as many as 1,100 passenger and cargo flights a day would be delayed, diverted, or canceled. So Tuesday, the wireless companies agreed to 2-mile buffer zones around many of the nation's busiest airports. The FAA says that will reduce the worst disruptions, but it has approved just 45% of airliners to operate in all weather conditions where 5G is active. Airline industry analyst Henry Hartevelt.
This could have a disproportionate effect on people who live in mid-sized and smaller towns where they're dependent on smaller airplanes that are not on the approved list.
Even something as benign as fog at a major U.S. airport could cause lengthy delays to ripple across the country. Already, some international airlines have canceled flights to the United States. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Denver.
Don't go far. There's more News 3 First Edition straight ahead. Bob will have that final forecast for you.
Hurt by a big truck? 1-800-CALL-KEN.
One call, that's all.
on your side. You're watching WRBL News 3 First Edition.
Before we go, don't forget a digital exclusive show will continue tonight on WRBL.com. Tonight on the Bob Jeswell Show, we will meet Mike Jones, one of the owners of the Columbus Rapids soccer team, and he's also one of the co-founders of one of the South's largest creative design conferences. Mike walks Bob through how to overcome fear and become successful at anything you set your mind to. That's all coming up tonight. The Bob Jeswell Show at 7, 6 Central on WRBL.com.
It's going to be good. Oh, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. You don't want to miss it. So here we are looking at some nice weather. This is today. This is the end of it. This is the warmest temperature we're going to have all week, and so enjoy. But in the overnight, you'll see that rain starts to come in. It's a pretty strong system coming out of Mississippi. Severe weather there. But for us, Phil, it's all about focusing on a wintry mix again with a freezing weather setup across north central Georgia on Friday. And for us locally, we could still see some sporadic winter type precipitation. More at 6-5 Central.
All right, thank you, Bob. We know you're going to be right on top of it, along with your weather team. We want to thank you for watching News 3 First Edition, and we will see you right back here after the Andy Griffith Show. Don't go